Hello, my subscribers. This is my first video. I don't know how good it's going to be or how it's going to work, but I'm doing this in the hope that I can interest you and help you and excite you and build my channel, build my community. So, you asked a bunch of questions, and I'm going to answer 3 or 4 of them in this clip and then do more clips in answer to more questions. So, the first question, which was asked by more than one person, you must be a patient and non-judgmental person to be able to get so many great interviews. Was there ever an interview that was difficult for me? So I want to tell you about my approach, how I do these interviews. The first thing is I don't start with the interview. I what's called cast the talent. And here's how I do it. I get on the phone with the person and I say, I'm going to ask you 2 or 3 questions. Do you like your work? Now, that's a very vague question. If somebody says, I don't know. It's a complicated question. I say, probably not a good interview. It's going to cause me more grief to get that person to tell their story. Well, what's a good interview? A good interview is someone who goes into themselves and expresses to me something that is personal, that they may never have expressed before, that they want to tell me. Why do they want to tell me? Because the way I set the interview up, I say this: are you nervous? Be nervous. It's good to be nervous. Why be nervous? Because this is a record of a moment in time. A moment in time that as soon as you've done it, we're in the future. 100 years from now, 50 years from now, 25 years from now, your relatives are going to be watching this. And for them to feel you, you've got to tell me the story to them. I call it a future box. Speak to the future. So I'm setting the person to realize this moment is important. This moment means something. And over the course of my 57 years of doing this, I found indeed it does. Some of my first films, the ones that I made when I was 22, 23 years old, the people who are in the film, they're showing the films to their grandchildren. And the grandchildren are loving it. So it's immediately history. I think that's very important. Here's another question. What approaches did you have in your style of filmmaking, and how did that change over your career? Well, the fact is it didn't. So what's driving me? I'd like to say passion. I have a passion for this. I don't think that answer helps you. Passion is a better word. Curiosity. I find there are 2 kinds of people in the world, in this particular way. One, there are people who really are best talking about themselves. They think about themselves. Themselves are interesting to them, or at least they want to be sharing themselves. And then there's people like me. I don't find myself that interesting. I hope I'm interesting to you. I'm depending on it, but I don't find myself that interesting. I find the person in front of the camera fantastically interesting. I'm curious. I've been curious since I was 16. A kid growing up, Levittown, Long Island, suburbia, lower blue-collar class. I'd never been anywhere. Traveled to a few states in New England, and that was it. And I was really curious about everybody. Who was in the military? Some of my people were. Who smoked cigarettes? Who was an experimenter and wore a black leather jacket and rode a motorcycle? Who was the president, and what did he think? And did he take a poop like everybody else? Or was he really different? Everything made me curious. And here I am, 77 years old, and I'm still unbelievably curious about everything. This YouTube experience really fascinates me. A community of people who like my interviews and see in them a unique authenticity and a reality and a record of a moment in time. That is exactly what I wanted, and that's exactly what I'm having in my relationship with you and the experience I'm having with YouTube. Is YouTube great for me? No. There's 2 things I want from YouTube. First, I want the damn algorithm to notice my interviews and share them with all the people who might be interested. And what I find is when the algorithm starts sharing my videos, I get lots more people who like them. So it's not me. It's not what I'm doing wrong. It's the damn YouTube algorithm doesn't see me as relevant. The other thing I'm hoping for is I'm hoping to make a living from this. I don't need a lot of money, but I do have a family, my second family, my children, my wife. It's expensive to live where I live. And so far I'm making an add-on, but I know it's out there for me, and I'm really going to try to build my community and to continue to provide clips so that someday I could actually say, am I a rich man? No. Can I make a living from this? Yes.